Tonight, the beef.
I said to him, either you make me king or you're out of the picture.
The brawls.
And I realized, oh my god, George has hired a professional hitman on me.
And the butter?
I went on a churning course one time. It was very interesting, very difficult.
Oh, the lies and secrets of Pookerly and Telly 1. Alex and George Pookerly were born as identical twins.
I was born first,
I was born before Alex,
which is why I'm taller.
which is why I'm more intelligent. I've always had to be the sort of guiding light.
And guide he did, because by the time the duo were ready to go to school, they had outgrown their identical twin phase. And this wasn't the only difference that showed.
Alex almost walked into the nursing home on our first day of school, and some of the nurses thought he was a shriveled old man because his posture was just so bad, even then.
They had a tight bond, but they were slow to connect with the other children.
They'd always sort of be there, glaring at you from the end of the corridor. I didn't want anything to do with them, that's what I thought of them.
This self-sustaining lifestyle proved to be helpful to the boys in the end, as tragically, their parents failed to collect them from school one day.
For 5 minutes. We were left waiting for them for 5 minutes. So we weighed up our options, considered what we could do.
We could have either kept waiting or looked around, thinking, this world needs us, and set out on a mission to save lives or something, I don't know.
We looked at each other and we knew there was no way we were going back. The only way forward, in a way, was forward.
And so we set off. The first stop, the casting agency.
I did hear years later from someone that Mum and Dad were just stuck behind all the red lights on the way and they showed up maybe a minute after we left. I can't be sure though, I mean, we never heard from them again.
In terms of finding someone to represent their talents, George and Alex didn't have much success.
When they came into my office and I asked them what they could do, they started dancing, I suppose you could call it. Not that anyone would ever book 2 4-year-olds to perform on stage, moving about like they imagined they were Michael Jackson.
I can still remember the dance we auditioned with when we started looking for an agent. It was something like this.
I did some dancing too, but I was mostly just Alex's hype man. I used to be like...
Despite their eagerness, the boys weren't picked up by anyone in the entertainment industry.
It's tough finding work as a 4-year-old, especially when you have an idiot brother lazing around the house.
We'd gotten ourselves an apartment and we were trying to figure out what we'd do next. I thought the only way forward for the moment was to become freelancers and have our own equipment set up.
I went out and bought the best tablet our money could buy to make our films with. Our emails always started with, Dear Sir/Madam, we are 2 really super duper talented twins who can make the best video ever for you with our HD Lenovo iPad.
At one point we managed to get a job to do press for the new Space Fights film. People said we made a mess of it, but honestly the whole movie operation seemed like a bit of a shambles, to be honest with you.
After they left school, they honestly never crossed my mind until their space size video went viral.
Forget it! You're the electrical manager on camera!
If you examine the video really carefully, it's got all the viral elements. You've got children being stupid, you've got famous intellectual property, and you have a massive failure. Any video that has all 3 of those elements always goes viral.
And viral it goed, meaning the pair were quickly snatched up to become the new poster boys of absolute failure.
I had them working non-stop, the same sort of beanbag throwing videos, falling from a height videos, chemical mixtures blowing up in their faces video. I wouldn't say I regret it, no. I mean, they have no grounds to ever sue me because there weren't any regulations on the internet at the time.
After a few years of this, we started getting tired of broken arms, broken legs, broken noses, broken hairs.
So we shredded our 10-year contracts and purchased all of our back catalogue.
With seemingly valuable material now under their control, a plan for a whole new enterprise was undertaken.
In 2019, at a great personal cost, I established my own production company, purchased a broadcasting license, and put the fail videos out over the airwaves 10 hours a day under the name Telly 1.
Of course, it's undeniably going to work. I mean, I went on record at the time and I said that this is going to be a huge success. They're completely reinventing themselves, at least in the way that they publish the same fail videos.
Unfortunately, Alex didn't realise where the people were shifting. Not only were fail videos out of the window, but a television channel was the complete wrong move.
You know, I like both of them. I get Telly 1 a go for a while, but you know, once you've seen one fall, you've seen them all. They couldn't have been doing them much good.
And much good doing them, it didn't.
We were getting viewing figures of about 2. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it meant nobody was buying advertising there. Even though we were established names! We were established names!
You couldn't move for all the bills in the house, which is when the puppets came into the picture.
Bailiffs/social media managers owned by Bird Inc. raided the Telly One house in August 2019.
They came to the door and they told me either we hand over control of Telly One and Pookerly to them, or else they seize everything.
I know all about the world of fame and money stuff, and I could see things weren't going well over at Smelly One and Pookerly. You don't even have to change that one. I've got a great team that can help any dying influencer take some last gasps for air. There's Bobby, Doggo, Oscar, and a whole host of other career resuscitators who toil at the cold face of content all day long.
They promised they wouldn't leave until we succeeded, or until a year passed, whichever one was sooner.
But the gambit failed to pay off, and Bird Incorporated were ready to move out of the Pookerly house when
Pandemic.
the puppets were forced to stay put. Life in isolation was difficult for many, not least some washed up YouTubers living with stuffed animals, forcing them into bad content.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Imagine all the people
Living for today.
Imagine there's no countries, yeah.
The lockdown drove everyone apart. Actually, it drove Bobby insane. He started making TikToks dancing to pancakes, and when I confronted him about it, it only drove the wedge further in. Bobby, step away. No. It's too many pancakes, mate. You don't know what you're doing to yourself. I don't know more than you about everything. Now go where I'll have you replaced.
It was horrendous PR, not least because the twins were seen to be undermining my company's authority. So I did what any reasonable manager would do. Listen to my content advisor, Bobby, and recast my stars. I realized it didn't matter who Pookerly and Alex was, just so long as the name was there.
You want me to explain that idea? I was high as a kite. I didn't know what was going on.
It has to be said. Genius move. But the originals were up in arms for some reason about it all.
Sir, why are you taking part in this demonstration?
Because you're me. I should be where you are. You're not me. I have the right to myself.
That's very interesting. We'll be back to you with more. This is George Pookerly of Pookerly News.
Hey!
We started by regaining control of the news section because obviously the press authority weren't in favour of falsely identified puppet journalists, and we used our position as a trusted broadcaster to launch a smear campaign on the rest of the content being made by our doubles.
Hail Pookerly. Tonight, the latest disgusting mark made on the Pookerly name by the false gods in their latest video, when you're late for the taxi.
Close, no.
Until tomorrow, the fight for the glorious Republic of Telly One continues. Good night, citizens.
And following that battle, the spirits of both channels remain alive and well, back with their founders.
When I think about Telly One, I'm just so proud of how much content I've generated. I've just been assembling a performance review for the channel, and content production is up 42% this year. It's just wonderful to think that somewhere out there an algorithm is chewing up what I've made. One day I hope I can sell it all off as an NFT.
In a new venture, we're excited to announce here at Pookerly Holdings plc that this is not the end. Coming in 3 years' time is Pookerly Part 2, where I'll finally reveal what Pookerly means. Okay, no, I'll just be hinting at it, but you never know. The answer might come in Pookerly Part 3, coming 2037, where we hope to debut our very own Pookerly AI model. And here's a preview from our developers. What's up, guys and girls? It's time for a Pookerly Minecraft Fortnite Slime $1 million challenge. What a legacy.